It's time to wake up with a nice cup of morning roast.
Oh, yeah.
Featuring Bonta Hill and Joe Shasky.
Hey, well, I'm about that action, boss.
Take it out! This is the morning roast on 95.7 The Game.
The high drive, right center field. Harris back at the wall. It is gone into the Braves bullpen. And the World Series hero back in Atlanta. His 15th home run of the year. 9-7 Giants.
Well, that'll certainly help, huh?
That'll help.
Our guy Dave Fleming, he'll join the show later today. He's on the call for NBC Sports Bay Area alongside Javi Lopez and Jock Peterson with his 15th home run down in the ATL where he helped them win the World Championship a season ago. And the Giants win a wild one in the ATL, 12-10. We'll start to ramp up slowly with baseball. We got the NBA draft tomorrow. A lot of Warriors content, offseason priorities for them, especially with their own players, in-house Otto Porter Jr., Gary Payton II, and Kevon Looney. We'll get to all that stuff and much, much more here on the Morning Roast on a Wednesday. Wait, is it Wednesday? Yeah, it is Wednesday. I lost track of the days. Shasky, as I say, good morning to everybody out there on the roadways, getting ready for work, getting off your graveyard shifts. Good morning to YouTube, our folks at Twitch, the Xfinity Mobile text line, Langford, Lubman, and you, Joe Shasky. Let's start with the Giants.
Did you feel that last night?
Feel what?
The seismic shift on Twitter from everybody going straight from Warriors parade content right to Giants baseball.
I'm slowly ramping up my tweets when it comes to the Giants. There was one tweet for me, unreal, and that was that. But I was locked in.
That's a profound statement.
That's a profound statement. But what was when Tyro Estrada dropped that little grounded LaGoria, and he just dropped it.
For those that maybe haven't been paying attention as closely as I have, because I've been doing the podcast, look, not every day are we going to sit here and jam Giants baseball down your throat when it's not the main topic. We're obviously going to get into the Warriors and free agency, and the draft is coming around the corner. There's a lot to get into in the NBA in general, the Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis situation,
Bradley Beal.
But let's start here with the Giants. If you're looking for Giants content, we do have a podcast, me and Mark Willard. It's called Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys. You can find it anywhere that you find podcasts. And I would say there are three kind of storylines that are carrying the Giants right now if you haven't been paying attention. Number one, this guy, Luis Gonzalez, is a Rookie of the Year candidate. Yes, he's 26 years old. He's not conventional. But if it was 1991, Bonta, how geeked would we be over someone like Luis Gonzalez developing?
Batting .302 right now. He's showing a little power. The arm's getting better in the outfield. He looks like a staple. And he saw a lot of pitches yesterday. That was the thing. He set the tone, I thought, in that first inning by working Strider into a full count. He's just seeing pitch after pitch after pitch. So I like this Gonzo kid.
He's a very balanced hitter. He can hit with two strikes. He can put the ball away. He can bring it in. Yep. His spray chart is beautiful. It's like old school baseball. You know what I mean? A guy who can really hit from all sides. The other storyline, Tyro Estrada, okay, the second baseman. This guy has played a little bit of shortstop because of Crawford's absences over the first couple of months. He's been an absolute gem of a find. If you look at all the statistical categories, he's right there at the top of all of them. He's played probably the most amount of games in a Giants uniform this year. And people are losing their minds about that throw from Longoria over to Estrada. He was like in the shift, so he was playing shortstop, but it looked more like a second baseman coming over to cover second. He just dropped the ball.
Yeah,
but his defense isn't as bad as people think it is.
It's not as bad. That was a play. Now
you got to make that play.
You got to make that play.
And then
they got lucky.
Crazy play on the very next play.
They got lucky, and then later on in the next inning, I think Acuna Jr. swung at the first pitch.
He's a stud.
Where I'm like, he is a stud. I mean, they got nothing but studs on the Braves, but they bailed him out. I think Matt Olson on that play, the LaGoria swung at the first pitch, so they were a little impatient there. You got to clean that up just a little bit.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. I know you got another thing here.
Yeah, I've got plenty of them. No, it's just like this team's defense has been terrible all year. That was kind of a staple of what made them good last year.
It's a difference.
It's a big difference. The bullpen's been better as of late, but some of the roles aren't as clearly defined as they were the year before, and they don't have the starting pitching that they had years before. Another guy under the radar having a monster year. If you just look at like who leads this team in categories, most are going to say Jock Peterson. They're not wrong. What about Wilmer Flores? Just look at all the stats. He's at the top of everything. Batting average, runs driven in, home runs, RBIs, you name it. This guy's at the top of those categories.
Big knock
so it's
yesterday.
a very weird team this year.
Big knock yesterday for him. 0-2 count in the ninth inning to give them that insurance runs, because then the Braves scored 2 runs in the ninth inning. You don't get those 2 runs. You're going to extras, and it's like, who do we go to in the bullpen? 0-2 count, Flores goes the other way. I'm not mad at him. 37 RBIs, 8 home runs. Look, he's been steady since he's been with the Giants. It's not great, but he's not bad.
No, he's been solid.
And you can play him in multiple spots. You want to play him at second, you want to play him at first, you want to play him at third. I'll take that.
He's been better than Evan Longoria.
No doubt.
Let's just call it what it is.
No doubt.
And then, like, the other little kind of the starting pitching has just evaporated. We'll get into DeSclafani at some point. Ninth inning, Camilo Duvall. Tyler Rogers is not the same player. But him and McGee have kind of flipped roles for me. It feels like McGee is back, even though the ERA doesn't show it. He's been so much better as of late. And Tyler Rogers has faded. Like they're kind of like 2 trains going in different directions.
Tyler Rogers, where is he at right now with the ERA? He's over 5, I believe, with the ERA. He's been struggling right now. You brought up Duvall.
Yes.
All right. I had a problem with him pitching yesterday. I get it. He's warming up in the bullpen. They scored an extra runs in the top of the ninth inning to make it 12-8. He pitched Monday night. He pitched Saturday. All right, so he's going to pitch for the second straight night. 4-run game. I would have had somebody ready to roll on the side of him just in case that lead increased, to save him for possibly today, to save him for Thursday maybe. He's pitching a lot right now. Back-to-back Friday, Saturday in Pittsburgh, day off. Then he's pitching Monday, Tuesday. He blew it on Monday. These are high-stress innings for the young man. I'm a little concerned about him. I am.
It's fair. And if you looked at, like, before I get to, like, my thoughts on Camilo, last night, he broke his chain, threw his glove, gave up a 2-run home run, but he got the victory, right? He got the hold, right? Now, he needs these situations. We've talked so much. His heart rate doesn't go up when guys are on base. His heart rate when he's pitching. And yesterday, he finally showed signs of vulnerability emotionally, which was very unique from him.
The whole heart rate thing.
It's overrated.
How did we know? How did we know?
Well, because they've done some sort of data with his heartbeat and stuff.
Do they do it during the ninth inning?
Well, that's what they claim. I mean,
Are we monitoring the heart rate when 2 runners are on in a 1-word game in the bottom of the ninth inning?
How about Jonathan Papelbon when he was at his apex? Was that guy huffing and puffing like a psychopath?
Like a psycho.
But you know what? He
got
good.
The job done.
Exactly.
So there's
many ways to get it done. I don't really care about the heartbeat thing. I think that's like a narrative that we write about in media. I don't know if that necessarily is tangible.
Let me ask you overall, because
Camilo's been good, though.
No, he's been solid.
He's been really good. And this is the development of a 23-year-old.
No, 2.7 ERA. He's been muddy. He's actually been their most steady bullpen arm, in my opinion, in high leverage situations. As we look at the Giants, and just they're 9 games over 500.
I've been waiting for this conversation for like 3 months.
Why?
Your boys I'm armed with Giants hot takes everywhere.
Well, no, I'm armed with them too.
I know.
But
I'm
look,
sorry. I'm like Rambo in the jungle. Come at me!
But they're 9 games over 500. Lubman's so happy right now, by the way.
Oh, my God.
He's so happy about the Giants content. He calls me yesterday.
I'm
I missed the call.
I'm going to nickname him Woody.
Dude. I missed his call yesterday, so I call him back as I'm winding down, and he's just rambling takes left and right. Like it's Game 7 of the World Series. I'm like, dude, just relax.
Yeah, doing
We're going to get the Giants. We're okay. We're coming off a championship parade.
Yeah.
All right? Relax a little bit. But they're 9 games over 500. And the way they're talked about, you would think that they're 9 games under 500. With all the stuff, with all the injuries, Brandon Crawford's got to have an MRI on his knee. He may miss a couple games. Hell, he may miss a couple weeks. We have no idea.
That was ugly.
That could
have been a lot worse. He slid late.
Yeah, I don't even want to call it a slide.
I don't know what. You know what it was? It was like a softball player. Like, I don't really want to go to the ground. And then the next thing you know, he's sliding. And look, he's lucky he didn't rip his knee up.
Yep.
No
doubt.
He might be out I think he's going to be out for a couple of days. That's just me at minimum. But he's lucky he didn't rip his knee up and is out for the year.
Who are these Giants, though? Because they're 3.5 back of first place.
They're a bunch of nobodies.
They're 3.5 back of first place. The Dodgers are falling apart. Walker Buehler's out 6-8. Mookie Betts has a cracked rib. Bellinger and Muncy, they're struggling.
Muncy is batting like 165.
Yeah, I know. Muncy's struggling.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt. But you know what? Trey Turner's carrying him.
Yeah.
Trey Turner went 4 for 5 yesterday.
Superstar.
It's just an absolute stud. He's going to get paid.
Yeah. I would take him in a heartbeat.
You know what? We'll get to the offseason.
I would pay him.
We'll get the Busser Odie.
Now
that I think about it.
He's a $200 million winning player.
And you know what? I will pay for it.
And he can play second, short. He can play anywhere.
Trey Turner.
I love him.
Gosh.
And he's the kind of guy you could put in the 2 or the leadoff hole easily.
1, 2, or 3.
Yeah,
he's been batting third all season long for the Dodgers.
He's an amazing player, and he would be a great table setter for this organization.
Oh, my gosh. Trey Turner.
I love him.
Still him for the Dodgers.
He's one of my favorite players.
That's unbelievable. But who are these Giants? Who are these Giants?
I think this is who the Giants are. They're a team that is somewhere between 8th and 11th in baseball right now. They're a team that's probably going to be overall.
Just not the National League.
Power ranking. If I were to just pay, they're probably somewhere. They're either the second or third best team in the NL West right now. Because if you look at some of the power rankings, you got the Dodgers, Padres, and Giants as 3 of the top 8, 9, 10 teams in baseball, right? I look at the Mets and the Braves and I say those are 2 of the other top 10 teams in baseball. Giants have seen both of those teams now a couple of times. And then there's like kind of a drop-off in the National League. Yeah, St. Louis is in there somewhere, but like Milwaukee's obviously in there somewhere. I think that the Giants are a playoff team. I'm not sure if they're a contender as currently constructed. Yeah. They've got 2 standout starting pitchers, and then you're praying. You know, remember it used to be Timmy, Kane, pray for rain. Remember that?
Oh, I do.
I feel like we're in the Webb Rodon. I have no idea what Alex Wood's going to give me, though he's been better as of late. And then I don't know. Like DeSclafani went 3 innings yesterday. He could have been yanked after 2.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect much from DeSclafani putting that spot against Atlanta, against that lineup. And he struggled. And he struggled all season long.
Yes.
Now, I want to get the Busser Odie because, look, Anthony DeSclafani, you just pray. You just pray for him right now. He's just, we know he can't pitch against the Dodgers. He gets rocked against them. So when can you play the guy? We all remember game 4 down at Dodger Stadium where he just scuffled through the first 2 innings. I mean, I don't even think he made it out the second. Not on a recall. He's just been awful since that point.
Yes. You asked me who they are, B. They're a 9-13 team in 1-run games.
It's not good.
It's just something that I was trying to like ponder last night. I saw that on the NBC broadcast, and I said to myself, man, why is that? Is it situational hitting, pitching?
But think about that. They won those games last year.
That is exactly where I'm going.
Lamont Wade Jr. was in the lineup.
Yes.
He hasn't played much this year. Mr. Ninth Inning, late night Lamont.
Yeah.
He hasn't played much this season.
Yeah, the bullpen roles were totally defined last year as they got down the stretch. Now, I know they ended up going with Doval in the 9th inning, but like, remember, it was Tyler Rogers in the 8th and McGee in the 9th for the majority of last year. They've gotten away from that.
They have. They certainly have. So Busser Odie wrote an article because we're going to get into the Warriors and their offseason and the NBA draft. And I had a thought driving by the Ferry Building today I want to throw to you and why it's a good thing maybe for the Bay Area. But, you know, Busser Odie was writing about players and teams, and he wrote this about the Giants. You know, he was talking about the Giants and, you know, as Buster Posey has moved on and the Giants have gradually reduced their payroll and long-term obligations, so much so that the franchise only has 1 player under contract for 2024, and that is pitcher Anthony DeSclafani, who was owed $12 million that year. Maybe you move off of that, who knows? But the Giants have the wherewithal and financial power and flexibility to outbid all the other teams for Aaron Judge or any other player. Judge went to high school less than 100 miles from the Giants' Oracle Park, and maybe this will be a lure for him. It's also possible that high taxes in his home state could be a factor in his negotiations. Just as Barry Bonds once inspired a mountain of ticket sales in San Francisco, the Giants' leadership is undoubtedly well aware that Judge possesses that sort of star power to fill seats for a generation. And this is something we brought up when the Morning Roast was born. Aaron Judge. I need him in orange and black. So how do we get there? First of all, he's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. I'm giving him a blank check. This blank piece of paper, whatever number you want, Aaron Judge, let's start there. But how do you lure in Aaron Judge to San Francisco right now when you have all these players and you don't have a lot of commitments past 2024? Right now, I'm looking at the Washington Nationals, and I'm saying, how do I get Juan Soto? The Washington Nationals are 25-46. They're awful. They're 20.5 games behind the New York Mets. And Juan Soto is not balling like that, but he's an exceptional baseball player. He's batting .215 this year, but he still has a 14 Jackson and 31 RBI. Right now, knowing that I can't count on Joey Bart, I don't know if I can count on Luciano, I don't know if I can count on Ramos, I am flipping my farm to go get Juan Soto. That's step one in alluring Aaron Judge. And you brought up Trey Turner? Well, man, make it a blockbuster then.
Look, it's easy to say, go get this guy, that guy, that guy. The reality is, and I saw this with Kansas City last week. You and I kind of watched that series with a keen eye because of Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees. He's one of the best players, like in terms of coming up prospects. One of the most coveted prospects out right now.
Yep.
There's a bunch of guys around the league that are very exciting. Rodriguez
3
in
for
Seattle
5 last night, Bobby Witt Jr.
You know, Rodriguez in Seattle's killing it right now.
Had another home run last night.
He's an awesome player. He's so exciting. He steals bases. He does everything. The kid in Pittsburgh right now, O'Neal Cruz. Everybody's enamored with him. Bobby Witt Jr. is as talented as all of those guys.
Yep.
But what I noticed in that Kansas City series, one superstar prospect does not change an organization.
Nope.
Baseball's so hard. You need a full pitching staff. You got to have 7 other position players every single day. So I don't think Aaron Judge, Bonta, is the savior of all saviors to kind of ignite everything. And I don't think that's what you're saying.
No,
but it's definitely a hell of a start. It's a hell of a start.
But you have to start now.
Exactly.
You have to start now by getting Soto. So when Judge does hit free agency and he's looking at the Giants and he's saying, can I win in the NL West with that team? Well, Juan Soto's there. Well, and maybe Trey Turner comes in the package, or maybe Trey Turner goes back east. I have no idea. But it starts with Juan Soto. I think Farhan has to say, you know what? We may not win it all this year, but I'm looking at the future right now, and I'm trying to develop this farm.
Yeah.
I got to go get Juan Soto. I need a table setter. Juan Soto's only, how old is he?
23.
23 years old. He turns 24 in October.
Yeah, he is basically, his numbers for his first 3 seasons mirror Ted Williams.
Right.
I don't say that lightly. You know what I mean? Ted Williams is The Art of Hitting is one of the greatest books of all time. Ted Williams is a legend, an American hero, and a war veteran, and he's incredible. Here's the thing though about the Juan Soto. His value is depreciated as low as a Juan Soto value can be because he's having kind of a down year. He's under arbitration control for the next couple of years.
And hold on, and he does struggle in the outfield.
Yeah,
defensively,
but
he's a liability.
The DH now.
No doubt.
I mean, you're not back in the era where you didn't have the DH in your back pocket. And eventually, I think you can figure it out. You could throw him in left field. You can be fine. Look, I watched 50-year-old Barry Bonds play left field effortlessly.
It's all good.
Have you seen Darren Ruff out there?
I have.
I mean, have you seen? I love Jock. Have you seen Jock waddle around out there?
I have. It's always an adventure.
So where I'm going at with this is I would love to have him. And when I look at my prospects that I've got right now, Elliot Ramos, Luciano, all these guys, I am praying to God they're even as close to as good as what Juan Soto is one day.
So I'm flipping them. There's not one. Basically, I'm saying all that to say is there's not one prospect in this farm system I deem untouchable.
Which is a fair assessment.
So what is it going to cost for a Juan Soto? Because that's the first step into luring Aaron Judge back home. And I've been on this Aaron Judge thing for over a year and a half now. The Yankees are going to let him go to free agency. They basically broke off all talk, saying, I'm not talking to you guys during the season. And the Yankees right now are rolling.
Yeah.
They are rolling
They're
right
the
now.
number 1 team in baseball.
And this price point is going up and up and up. But the Giants, they also not only have to compete in the NL West, Shasky, they kind of have to compete in their own backyard.
Yeah, with the Niners and the Warriors.
Because you look at the stars of the Golden State Warriors, Jonathan Kuminga's a bigger star than anybody on the Giants right now.
There's no doubt about it. You were talking about Aaron Judge. Bonta, Aaron Judge is a guy who I think you can build an entire marketing campaign around. The all rise Aaron Judge stuff.
Come on. You don't think Larry Bear?
He's on pace to break 200 home runs right now this year, and he's 30 years old. He's a guy, if things go well and you put him in the right lineup, he's a guy that one day could be on the brink of cracking 500 home runs.
Wow.
Now, I know the era of 600, 700 home runs, the steroid era kind of diluted the numbers. 500 home runs means something to me. He's a guy that if you would have said in the 1980s, this guy has an opportunity to hit 500 home runs, you'd be drooling all over yourself as a marketing campaign committee member trying to get that guy on your team.
So he had 39 home runs last year, 98 RBIs. Right now he has 25 home runs and 50 RBIs.
Yeah, he's having a monster.
He's having a monster. The last 2 years have been really good.
And he's hitting against lefties, and he's a right-handed power bat, which is what the Giants really don't have.
They need that.
They got a bunch of lefty hitters. They don't have a lot of righty hitters. And the thing is, his splits aren't great against righties, but against lefties. It's better than what they've got currently. That's the flaw that they have right now.
So I think Larry Bear is sitting here saying, I need to get a dude.
Yes.
And I may need to get a couple dudes. You pair Judge with Soto. Soto turns 24 in October. Judge is 30 right now. You can have those guys for the next 5 years.
Well, and the reality is, as much as I love both those outfielders to acquire because of the star potential, outfield might be the area that they're most loaded, and that's the complicated thing. Like in terms of their farm, in terms of their current makeup. Look, I'm trading Yastrzemski for Juan Soto and these guys all day. I'm not trying to say that I'm keeping them. What I'm saying is that that's not their number one need. So I don't know if they operate like that. Right now, their number one need to me is catcher. So I think they need a veteran catcher. Wilson Contreras is a guy who can be available. He's going to be a free agent. Yeah, he's got your Chris Bryant written all over it, a rental.
We need some swag, baby. That's right, JW on YouTube. We need some swag with some Cuban links, baby. Go get Soto. Go get Judge. I'm gonna keep saying that. I've been saying it since the offseason. Go get those two dudes. It's time. It's time, but you got to start with Juan Soto.
Well, look at what the Padres did when they kind of upstarted their thing, signing Manny Machado. Don't you feel like they're in such a better spot after adding Machado? Everything else fits better.
Everything else fits better. Right now, I don't know what fits with the Giants.
I know. He opts out after 2023.
Oh,
Machado. Ooh. I love Machado. He's won me over. He's a baller.
He's won you. I know, because you were down on Machado.
Yeah, well,
you were very down on Machado.
I watched him a lot in the AL.
Dude, I've always loved him. I've always loved him, man. I was petrified when he became a Dodger. By the way, what's coming up in the game brought to you by BMW Fairfield. Your phone calls, Rocky, will get you on the other side on how the Giants can recruit Aaron Judge to the Bay. Brought to you by BMW Fairfield Plus. Fleming and D Wright today. D Wright at 8 o'clock. Fleming at 8:30. We'll talk some more Giants with him. Also, we have the Steve Kerr replay coming up at 7:20. Steve Kerr said a lot of great things yesterday with David and Rado.